BJP's Prime Ministerial candidate Narendra Modi had a hectic day in the national capital, addressing meetings of the Confederation of Indian Traders, the Chartered Accountants Cell of the BJP, and speaking at the India Economic Summit. As we bring you this broadcast tonight, a crucial meeting of the Central Election Committee is taking place at the BJP headquarters at 11 Ashoka Road. The party is expected to put out its first list of candidates for the forthcoming general elections. Over the next 10 days, the party is also expected to take a call on which seat Narendra Modi himself will contest from. There's been a massive clamour among BJP leaders from the Hindi heartland demanding that Narendra Modi contest from Uttar Pradesh. Varanasi and Lucknow are the two seats that are being looked at most closely for Modi to contest from. While no decision has been taken so far, Modi's closest associate Amit Shah gave an interview to India Today magazine where he said that Modi should contest from Uttar Pradesh. I now quote, "I feel Modi should contest from UP. If the future Prime Minister contests from UP, 18% of India's population will benefit, and this will have a national impact. If UP comes out of the category of Bimaru states, the country's growth rate will jump to double digits." Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party today put out its second list of candidates for the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. There are a total of 30 names, most notably that of Mahatma Gandhi's grandson, Rajmohan Gandhi, who will contest from East Delhi, a seat which is currently held by Congress's Sandeep Dikshit. There is a lot of pressure within the Aam Aadmi Party for Arvind Kejriwal to contest the Lok Sabha elections as well. There is a section among the supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party who feel that the former Delhi CM should contest against Narendra Modi wherever Modi may decide to contest from. Kejriwal himself has made Narendra Modi the central focus of the AAP campaign in these elections, launching a series of scathing attacks against Modi during every election speech.
आज हमारे देश के सामने दो सबसे बड़ी समस्याएं हैं, भ्रष्टाचार और सांप्रदायिकता। और सांप्रदायिकता को मैं भ्रष्टाचार से ज्यादा बड़ी समस्या मानता हूं।
मुकेश अंबानी राहुल गांधी को भी पैसे दे रहा है, मुकेश अंबानी मोदी को भी पैसे दे रहा है। मुकेश अंबानी की एक जेब में मोदी है, मुकेश अंबानी की दूसरी जेब में राहुल गांधी है। और मोदी जी की एक एक रैली में कई कई करोड़ रुपए खर्च होते हैं। कोई कह रहा था जी 50 करोड़ रुपए खर्च होते हैं मोदी जी की रैली में। पूरा एक रैली में तो पूरा लाल किला बनाया था उन्होंने अपनी स्टेज को। एक रैली में इतने करोड़ रुपए खर्च होते हैं। और अभी अखबार में आया था मोदी जी का नाम बढ़ाने के लिए 400 करोड़ रुपए खर्च हो रहे हैं।
आज हमारे देश के सामने दो सबसे बड़ी समस्याएं हैं।
In a recent interview to News 24 channel, Arvind Kejriwal was quoted in saying, Narendra Modi should contest against Sonia Gandhi and Arun Jaitley should contest against Rahul Gandhi if the two parties are serious about defeating each other in VIP constituencies. If Kejriwal was to apply the same logic to himself, should he not challenge Narendra Modi to a direct fight whichever seat Modi decides to contest from? That's the center stage face-off for tonight. Joining us on our program this evening, Sudhanshu Mittal representing the BJP. We've got Preeti from the Aam Aadmi Party. With me in the studio, and I want to walk across to us. It's KP Singh. He's a member of the Aam Aadmi Party, not a spokesperson. He insists, just an ordinary Aam Aadmi. We've got Madhu Kishwar. I want to go across first to KP Singh. On why is it that as a member of the Aam Aadmi Party, also given all the public positions Kejriwal has taken so far, you believe it is important for Arvind Kejriwal to challenge Narendra Modi wherever Modi may decide to ultimately contest from?
Absolutely. BJP has put the entire campaign is Modi, Modi, Modi. Let's see what Mr. Modi has got. Let's see if that 56-inch chest can hold up to a campaign. And I think you put 90 days in a constituency, Arvind Kejriwal versus Narendra Modi. At the end of those 90 days, I guarantee Mr. Modi will be on the run and trying to find places to hide and there won't be any.
No, because some people would argue that it's not good strategy for Kejriwal to take on Modi because Modi is no Sheila Dikshit. He's a far more formidable opponent.
Allegedly.
Do you think it's good form and good strategy, good tactics for Kejriwal to take on Modi?
Normally, the case would be a Lok Sabha election, you won't do it. But the Aam Aadmi Party hasn't followed normal strategy to get to where they have. We need a renegade campaign to win this. I think Mr. Kejriwal is the man for the job.
Arun Bhatia supporter of the Aam Aadmi Party, has been very sympathetic and partial towards them. Former IAS officer, anti-corruption crusader, is also joining us on this program. Mr. Bhatia, as someone who's followed Kejriwal's growth story very closely, do you too think the right message for Kejriwal to send out to his supporters is to accept the challenge and to take on Modi wherever Modi may decide to ultimately contest from, sir?
Yes, sir, because, Kejriwal can't keep running away. He runs away from TV channels saying they are biased. A national party against corruption and the chair is left vacant over there. How do you think people feel? Then he runs away from the Delhi administration without putting the Lokpal bill to vote. Now, he should be the one saying, come on, I'll challenge you. Okay, he may have to challenge Modi on his home ground and you may say it's unfair to Kejriwal. Kejriwal can stand from 2 constituencies. A lot of people do that. But he should be saying that. He shouldn't want other people to say that. Go and challenge the man. If you are a leader of a movement, it's a national anti-corruption movement. It's a unique movement. Come on. Take on the fight. Stand. Don't run away. Say, you're biased, you're biased. It's pathetic. Don't be pathetic. Yeah? Fight it out.
Sudhanshu Mittal, would Narendra Modi be concerned if Arvind Kejriwal does indeed declare that he is prepared to take on the BJP's prime ministerial candidate? That would be the contest of 2014. Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal. Let the people decide who's the real king.
Rahul, this morning itself I read the announcement by Mr. Kejriwal that no MLA in Delhi will fight the Lok Sabha elections.
No, Arvind Kejriwal's announcement won't really mean very much because he said he won't form a government, he won't ally with the Congress or the BJP. Ultimately he did. So we don't take those announcements very seriously. He will do what he thinks is best. There is pressure from within the party. We've seen Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan both say Kejriwal should contest. The question tonight is, should Kejriwal take on Narendra Modi or not? What do you make of that? Would Modi be concerned about that possibility? Sudhanshu Mittal.
I am so happy that you acknowledged that the man says something and does something else. So he lacks credibility. And do you think Mr. Modi with a 360-degree credibility needs to worry about a man who's bereft of any credibility? Look, Modi has the credibility of ideology, he has the credibility of character, and he has the credibility of administrative acumen. He has delivered. So it's performance versus illusions. A man who talks not fighting then fights. A man who talks, I shall not form a government, I swear on my children, shall form a government with Congress.
You're not answering my question, therefore I shall not allow this. This is not a debate on the morality of Arvind Kejriwal. I'm asking you a direct, straight, simple question. Would Modi be concerned if Arvind Kejriwal were to declare that he wants to take on Narendra Modi, try and do to him what he did successfully to Sheila Dikshit?
Mr. Modi will not be worried one bit for the simple reason that the credibilities of the two individuals are far different. Here is performance versus false promises and illusions. B. He may have done it to Sheila Dikshit because at that point of time, people did not know what he stood for. But after having formed the government and after people having seen what gas is he all about, I don't think anybody in his right frame of mind can even think that he can pose a challenge. Thirdly, and more importantly, these are hypothetical questions because he would never have the courage to do it. He has always shied away and run away from anything serious and responsible. If he had one bit of commitment, he would have continued his government. He claimed he had reduced corruption.
You're going off tangent. I want to stay focused on what we are debating tonight. And Sudhanshu Mittal says, Preeti Sharma Menon, that Modi is not concerned, Kejriwal is no threat, Modi is no Sheila Dikshit, and that is reality. Sheila Dikshit has a 3-term anti-incumbency she was up against. There is a surge of goodwill for Modi reflected by anecdotal evidence from people traveling across. Everyone talks about a Modi buzz, a Modi wave. Possibly how big that is we don't still know. But Modi is no Sheila Dikshit. Would it then make sense for someone like Kejriwal to take on Narendra Modi head on and say, I believe you are what's wrong with Indian politics, I will take you on, like I did with Sheila Dikshit? Preeti Menon.
I'm glad that you realize that there's something dramatically wrong with Indian politics and that Modi stands for that part of what is extremely grossly wrong with our politics. And I'm glad that the only person you have faith on who can take Modi on is Arvind
It's not about who I have faith in. I don't have much faith in any of our politicians. My job is to question all of them, and I'm asking you a direct question like Sudhanshu. I don't want you to depart from my question. My question is this, and I shall repeat it for your benefit. Is it a good idea for Arvind Kejriwal, since he believes Modi represents what's wrong with India, for Kejriwal to take on Modi wherever Modi contests from? Preeti Sharma Menon, answer my question.
Where Arvind Kejriwal stands from is something that we will decide shortly. But the fact that we will give Modi a run for his money is guaranteed. Now, you may think that Modi will get a run for his money if Arvind Kejriwal fights. I may think that he may get a run for his money if a 25-year-old girl who has been stalked or molested stands against him. So it can be anybody who can give him a run for his money. Your assumption may not be the same as ours.
Are you suggesting that the 25-year-old girl who apparently or allegedly Amit Shah stalked or had stalked, is that what you're suggesting? Are you in touch with that lady? Are you suggesting that she'll contest an Aam Aadmi Party ticket? Because don't make these wild charges. Let's not just jump the gun. Don't make wild charges.
Your assumption is preposterous. What I'm saying is,
that's what you said. I'm assuming nothing. I'm only reporting what you said, madam.
And who stands for what women's freedom. Yeah, I'm saying exactly that. Any 25-year-old girl who stands for women who want to live free of abuse may want to contest against him, and we'd welcome that. We could welcome anybody. I'm saying Modi has courage to stand against Janatai Partner. If he has courage, he should come and stand against sterling activists who have put down the sham of his development.
By the people of Gujarat.
I want to come back to what we're discussing, and I want to put this question to Madhu Kishwar, because let's not get carried away, let's not put out wild things on the show. Would it be of concern to Narendra Modi if Kejriwal were to decide to contest against him, ma'am?
Rahul, you invite me at your own risk, so please allow me to finish. I have 3 points to make.
Yes, please go ahead.
Firstly, pitching Kejriwal against Narendra Modi is like pitching a mosquito against a royal elephant. Mosquitoes have a lot of nuisance value. They spread disease, and that's exactly all that Kejriwal is capable of. Now, the other thing is, since you are so fond of him, you keep talking about him, I suggest you take his own words seriously. He keeps repeating, मैं तो तुच्छ आदमी हूँ, मैं तो अदना आदमी हूँ, मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूँ. Please take it seriously. He is actually tuchh and very adna. He is really worth nothing except that he's been propped up by powers that don't know how to fight Modi directly, politically, so they propped up all kinds of puppets. He's one of them. Thirdly, leave Modi. I promise to take him on. You give me
take on Kejriwal?
Provided you give me half the TV time and newspaper space that you give to Kejriwal, I'll take him on and defeat him in any constituency.
You think you will be able to defeat
you promise me half
Kejriwal?
No, Kejriwal, you give me, promise me, assure me half the TV time, not even full, that you've been giving Kejriwal, and you've been giving in the newsprint as well as in TV channels. Give me just half. And I will take him on, and I will show you I can defeat him.
Kejriwal.
I mean, he's a buzzing
He's no threat. He's a buzzing mosquito, she says. She says she can beat Kejriwal.
Well, elephants are scared of mosquitoes, madam. I hope you know that.
Well, you know what to do. All you
They go running, yeah.
You need a little spray and it's gone.
Anyway,
Rest assured, I'm saying if you underwrite the kind of TV time and
TV times don't decide elections,
madam. There is to it. He's a media monster.
TV times don't decide elections.
And all he
but
can
the reality is he won 28 seats, he won 29% vote share.
Because Sheila Dikshit's government was in deep crisis, the central government was in deep crisis, credibility was at an all-time low.
Then BJP should have won. Why didn't BJP win?
And transferred their votes.
I want to quote from what Arvind Kejriwal told News 24 in an interview done as recently as the 22nd of February. Narendra Modi should contest against Sonia Gandhi and Arun Jaitley should contest against Rahul Gandhi if the two parties are serious about defeating each other. He also says the moment Narendra Modi's constituency is declared, we will decide who to field against him, we will challenge him then and there, and we will put up the biggest, the best candidate that he can against Narendra Modi? Would Kejriwal not be the biggest and the best candidate if he wants Modi to contest against Sonia Gandhi? By that logic, he should contest. He should contest
Why do you
against
give
Narendra Modi.
importance to his stupid? He decides what anybody should do, what they should speak. Is he some national ombudsman?
Well, Modi doesn't give any interview, so we don't know what Modi says.
He's on TV.
Allegedly talks to people. Let me
don't encourage a fish market. Miss Kishwar, just one second. Let's do this one at a time. One at a time, please.
Let Mr. Modi come down from his fake rallies and his CII meetings.
The real people
come down the street and try and campaign.
Much more than a
on the street, let him campaign mano a mano against Mr. Kejriwal, and we'll see who the Aam Aadmi votes for.
Why would he?
But I'm asking a straight question.
Mukesh Ambani
Arun Bhatia, given that Arvind Kejriwal is saying that he will put up the strongest candidate we can against Narendra Modi. Just one moment.
I mean, just ask him to hold his
one moment, please.
Muck is not politics.
One at a time. There's too much muck being flung in this election. On center stage, we try and decide.
Did I hit a nerve, man?
Just 1 second, ma'am. No, 1 second. No, 1 second. Both of you.
Oh my God.
Just one at a time. Don't speak together. I want to go across to Arun Bhatia. Given the fact that Kejriwal says he wants to put up the strongest candidate against Narendra Modi, would it not be logical to suggest that he is his party's strongest candidate, and if he wants Modi to fight against Sonia Gandhi, by that logic he should be fighting Modi?
Or why not Sonia Gandhi?
Obviously, the leaders must face each other. We want to see. I would like Kejriwal to win. I don't want him to whimper and run away. He must face them. What do you mean by putting a 20-year-old girl against a guy who's slated to be the Prime Minister of the country? What are you running away from? Don't delude yourself. There's something else going on in the Aam Aadmi Party. If anybody is a leader of that party, he must be ready to face the other leaders. Come on. If you call yourself a national party, you say you have won people's hearts because the country is so corrupt, then do this. Why do you run away from the battleground?
Preeti Sharma Menon, would it not suggest if Arvind Kejriwal, despite all the talk, he's been asked this question, he was at the Islamic Center, people asked him if he'd fight against Modi, if despite the positions he's taken publicly in the past, he decides not to fight against Modi, will it be taken to assume that he ran away from the contest, that he didn't have the courage of his convictions, he didn't have the belief, the knowledge that he would win?
Yes.
And therefore, Arun Bhatia is agreeing. Do you think that's the message that will go out, Preeti Sharma Menon, that Arvind Kejriwal ran away from the battlefield?
Rahul, give me a minute to say everything that I'd like to. If you all have so much faith that Kejriwal is the only one who can challenge Modi, we are inspired by it and we'll surely consider it. In fact, you all know that it is something that we will actively consider. In Maharashtra, Anjali is fighting against Gadkari. We always give people who are willing to give a fitting reply to the people who have been standing so far. Sushil Kumar Shinde stands from a scheduled caste seat and has done nothing for the 23% Dalit population of Maharashtra. We have given them Lalit Babar, who is in Maharashtra's most progressive Dalit leader, to challenge him. So we will always position our battles such that the biggest and the strongest fight the most evil, the most corrupt and the most harmful for this nation. So don't be under any, I was just giving you an example. Rakhi Birla defeated a 3-time MLA. So anybody can defeat anyone. It is our strategy on how it will work. It's not about what Mr. Bhatia thinks. Mr. Bhatia should go and challenge him if he is so inclined instead of giving us advice. And as for Ms. Madhu Kishwar, I think she lives in completely a world of delusions. Nobody would give her airtime because she is not even a mosquito. She doesn't even exist in this planet. Nobody would give her airtime.
Why are you making this so personal? Just 1 second. Someone's calling someone a mosquito, someone saying someone doesn't exist on the face of this planet. Let's ensure that debate and discourse in this country has a certain standard. Let there be a healthy exchange, a fierce exchange of ideas, but let it not descend to such a pathetic standard. I want to go across. Arun Bhatia has his hand up. Sudhanshu Mittal, just wait your turn. I'm coming to you in a moment.
When Ms. Kishwar called him a mosquito. Rahul, somehow you didn't say that when Ms. Kishwar called him a mosquito.
I did. I said that let's maintain a certain standard. Let this debate not degenerate. But Sudhanshu Mittal, given the positions that Arvind Kejriwal has taken, do you think it is now important for him to walk the talk and actually take on Narendra Modi? Because he's taken this position that Modi should fight Sonia. So if that's the logic, if he's the leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, he should go and fight Narendra Modi.
Absolutely. Absolutely, by our logic, this would be in the fitness of things, and we certainly welcome it. As they say, let this myth also get exploded. I think for far too long, false promises and false hopes have evolved this personality into a mystical hoodwinker, and it's time that he gets exposed to people. He should also understand how much of a trust there is in people towards him. So we will certainly welcome him, and as I said, in terms of the analogy of the logic, certainly it would be most fitting that he takes on Mr. Modi. That would be excellent and wonderful.
You said that this is seriously under consideration. Is that the case? Or is that only the logical thing to do? Given that he took on the Chief Minister of Delhi, it's only logical now. He's boxed himself into a corner in that sense and he can't get away. It's only now logical for Arvind Kejriwal to take on Narendra Modi. He has no option. If he has the courage, he must come out and fight with Modi.
I think you must be the only person in the country who questions whether Arvind has courage. The one thing that Arvind has in plenty and Aam Aadmi Party has is courage. We can take on anyone, anywhere, anytime. What we will choose to do and what will work best to defeat Modi is what we will do. We will not be led, and it might be Arvind, it might be some totally unknown activist, it might be an ordinary housewife. You don't know what might work. We are thinking about it and we will come up with a fitting answer as we have done in all the seats that
an ordinary housewife, Madhu Kishore,
everybody is really
cannot be the answer. If Kejriwal has taken these positions, then he needs to now walk the talk and put himself up for battle, whether he wins or loses. Do you think the fact that you mentioned that Kejriwal will not be able to trounce Modi will play on his head and therefore might deter him from actually taking on Narendra Modi?
There's not a chance in a million that he will dare stand against Narendra Modi.
You think it won't happen?
I don't think it will happen. Secondly, you know, they keep on, the only thing they've learned is throw muck, and because the media acted as megaphones. Now, for example, this whole charge about Ambani nonsense. The fact is that Ambani-owned media channels and newspapers give 24/7 time to Kejriwal and demonize Modi. And demonize Modi. 12 years Ambani-owned TV channels have given demonization treatment to Modi.
No, Mr. Ambani just bought those channels.
No. But I'm saying, wait, there are other media. He has had several media interests. You know that better than me. The fact is, just keep quiet for a minute. The fact is that those media channels have given him 24/7 time from day one. And I told Sagrika Ghosh right at the beginning that if a Bandar Ka Tamasha was given as much time, you can have 2,000, 3,000 people.
No, but you're also disrespecting all those 29% voters who voted for Arvind Kejriwal and for the Aam Aadmi Party.
Congress party transferred its votes to Kejriwal's party. It's well known they wanted to somehow defeat BJP using this as a prop. People didn't know this was an unknown and they yelled so much. They were given so much prominence in the media. Non-stop.
I want to go across at this time to India Today magazine senior editor Uday Mahurkar. He's joining us from Ahmedabad tonight. He understands Narendra Modi's prime ministerial campaign better than any other journalist in this country. True. He's interviewed Amit Shah. In that interview, Amit Shah says to you, and I'm quoting now Uday, that I feel that Modi should contest from UP. If the future Prime Minister contests from UP, 18% of India's population will benefit and this will have a nationwide impact. If UP comes out of the category of Bimaru states, the country's growth rate will jump to double digits. Now there's been a lot of talk and we've reported on it that Narendra Modi is considering contesting from Uttar Pradesh. He's under pressure. Does this interview indicate to our viewers, Uday, that that decision has now in principle been taken because Amit Shah is seen as Modi's man in Delhi? If he makes this comment coming on record to say he should contest from UP, should it be read to mean that that decision has been taken and Modi will indeed contest from UP, sir?
Having known Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, what I can say is that I have a strong feeling that he's going to contest from UP. Whether from Varanasi or not, we can't say at this stage, because Narendra Modi has this whole strategy of keeping everybody guessing, you know. So if there is too much of Varanasi, he might shift to some other place. But I very strongly carry the impression that he will contest from UP.
Okay, so you're saying because there's a meeting of the Central Election Committee taking place as we speak tonight, We also know that Ram Lal, who's the organizational secretary from the RSS in the BJP, Nitin Gadkari met this afternoon along with Rajnath Singh and Narendra Modi. They had a long meeting. These matters are being discussed as we speak. So you're indicating, Uday Mahurkar, that an in-principle decision to contest from Uttar Pradesh has been taken. Will Modi then contest from one seat in Gujarat and one seat in Uttar Pradesh? Because a lot of people in Gujarat don't want to see Modi leave. They want to keep him there because they feel that it will be seen as abandoning Gujarat if Modi were to contest only from UP and not from Gujarat. Uday.
You see, it is difficult to read Modi's mind. As I told you that he doesn't allow his moves to be read in advance, you know. That is part of the strategy, you know. But you see, there are two things. If he is contesting from two places, then he is also signaling that he has projected himself as a strong man, you know. A person contesting from two seats also means that he is not secure. So Modi has to take a call. You know, there are two angles to the whole thing. One is that you want to cover two different areas in the country, you know, and with your presence. Another is that you are not too secure. So I think he has to take a call on that. And it's very difficult to say whether he will do it or not.
Uday Mahurkar, this buzz is in the air that Kejriwal is seriously considering contesting against Narendra Modi, even though it's being publicly denied. Within the party there's being talk, and Kejriwal as of now seems reluctant. He said in public, he said in party fora that he doesn't want to fight the Lok Sabha elections. He doesn't want to take on Modi, he said in party meetings. Is Narendra Modi concerned about the possibility of Kejriwal changing his mind? He's changed his mind often in the past. He's made public positions just to confuse his opponents. Do you think Modi at any level fears or knows or understands that maybe Kejriwal will want to contest against him if he were to announce that he'll fight from UP?
Whatever interaction I had with Modi over the last month and a half, which is the phase where we saw the Kejriwal phenomenon, I have never found the impression that he is afraid of Kejriwal. I mean, of course, till Kejriwal was so strong in Delhi, he was keeping his fingers crossed in some way, but that was with regard to Delhi only, not across the country. This impression I got from it. And I very strongly think that I don't think that he fears Kejriwal, even if Kejriwal is contesting against him, from very, very contest.
Okay, Sudhanshu Mittal. Uday Mahurkar reporting tonight that a decision in principle to contest from Uttar Pradesh seems to have been taken. The seat is still touch and go because Murli Manohar Joshi doesn't want to give up Varanasi, and we're not fully sure about Lucknow. But Amit Shah has now come on record to say that Modi should contest from UP. Do you want to tell our viewers about what's really happening, about whether Modi will contest two seats, one from Gujarat, one from UP, or will he just take the one seat in UP?
I think it's a decision of the Central Election Committee on the matter, and for me to be preemptive or to be speculative would not be right. As far as his fighting from UP is concerned, there's been a huge demand from everybody in UP that he should contest from there, because that will give UP a local context to Mr. Narendra Modi. The people of UP are not only looking at getting rid of the government at the center of Congress, they also want somebody to fight the Mayavatis and the Mulayam Singhs and the Akhilesh Singhs. So it is in this context that people of UP are looking towards Mr. Modi to fight from there. Now it's a call which the party has to take. I just want to take 1 minute to say, let's place the entire proposition in perspective. Mr. Kejriwal's party, out of 7 seats in Delhi, Lok Sabha, if you extrapolate the result of Vidhan Sabha, has won only 2 seats. We are talking about an election of 543 seats. A party which has demonstrated a success in only 2 seats is making these tall claims about being the party and the man and this. I mean, it's not fair. Secondly, when the program started, you showed me the clipping of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal saying there are 2 biggest problems of the country. One is corruption, one is communism. While before the people, he says it is the corruption which is the biggest problem of this country. At the India Islamic Center, he changes this. He says at the Islamic Center, no, communism is the biggest problem.
But that he's done multiple times. So he goes to a particular audience and tweaks his message to fit what they want to hear. He did that at the CII after taking on capitalists, industrialists, making them all sound like crooks and criminals. For the longest time he went to CII and said government has no business to be in business. So he's changed his positions, and in that sense when he says he doesn't want to contest a Lok Sabha election, nobody will really take it seriously, because ultimately there will be a clamour from within. They'll say, oh, there was pressure from within the party, so he decided to contest. They said they won't have an alliance with any party in Delhi, they did have an alliance. They said they won't have a government, they did have a government. So in that sense his public positions are now suspect.
Look, all those questions you can ask the spokesperson. All I'm going to say is on this specific...
Because you don't have an answer to this.
No, there are plenty of answers. Let's just talk about the Lok Sabha question. He says if the party wants him to contest, he will contest.
And the party said they want him to contest.
Because
unlike Mr. Modi, he listens to the party. Mr. Modi tells the party. There's a big difference. One is bottom up, the other is top to bottom.
This is the most ridiculous...
Modi. That's all BJP has to say, nothing else.
The most ridiculous statement. Anybody who knows the ABC of politics. One thing you can accuse BJP of maybe 100 things, but you cannot accuse that party of lacking inner party democracy. Because keep quiet.
RSS to decide. RSS,
now you're unfair. Of interrupting and not allowing you to speak.
These are poison facts. They won't.
What's the need to everything else?
Keep quiet. Now,
Nagpur decides
you've only practiced saying
Nagpur is one at a time. I can't allow this.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nagpur decides everything.
I'm sorry, Janpath decides what you jokers do. That's the fact.
No, one second. Just one at a time. KP, I can't allow this.
Leaders will decide the language of who
this is not okay. One at a time. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He did it.
KP, you must stop. Allow her to complete. I will give you an opportunity to rebut.
Language.
Just one second. One second. Allow her to complete, ma'am. Let's keep this at a healthy level of discourse. Make your point, let him counter.
Rahul, these people think throwing muck is their monopoly. The fact of the matter is, all they have done is to say, we are honest, others are dishonest, throw muck, throw muck, throw muck. There's no positive agenda. They don't know ABC of governance. 49 days in Delhi under Kejriwal were a nightmare. And everything he went back on, including banning demonstrations outside his house. This man who went to high security zone, defying police prohibitory orders, and held a protest demonstration, then banned protest demonstrations outside his office. He can't even face you. He couldn't face
This is a campaign speech. Now you can't let this go on. I'm sorry.
Please keep quiet.
Why don't you answer the allegation?
Rahul, please ask him to keep quiet.
What is the BJP's?
Let me answer Rahul. I'm talking to Rahul and I'm not talking to you. Just
don't talk to the 30 seconds. You're complete and then I'll 1 second. Give her 30 seconds. Give her 30 seconds.
This is not disruptive. Doesn't matter.
No.
1 second.
Rahul,
totally unacceptable.
they said they would choose their candidates through Jan Sabhas. They were to hold Jan Sabhas.
They haven't done that.
I think she auditioned to be Mr. Modi's first spokesman. That's what's going on here.
Look, it doesn't bother me. Your muck will not affect me.
Ma'am, but you've spoken enough. Now to rebut.
I'm saying it's not a question of rebutting. The point that I'm trying to make is that when they say others are this, that and the other, there's not a word. They're congenital liars.
Oh, come on.
He couldn't even face a Jan Sabha. He ran away even from the
you make those points. KP response. KP response.
What is there to respond?
The people of India will decide who is the congenital liar. What happened in 2002 in February, exactly 12 years from today, and which state was in anarchy?
SIT.
Okay. The people of India will decide.
There is a contest of ideas over here. Make no mistake about it. You've got Narendra Modi on the one side. He has a certain appeal. He has a certain idea of India. There is Arvind Kejriwal who's challenging and contesting that idea of India. The only way to resolve this is on the electoral battlefield. Given the positions that Arvind Kejriwal has taken in the past, we've seen Arun Bhatia say this, we've seen KP Singh, both supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party, both of them saying that now it is incumbent on Arvind Kejriwal to take up the challenge, to try and do to Narendra Modi what he did to Sheila Dikshit, and then let the people in that particular constituency decide who they want. Arvind Kejriwal or Narendra Modi? I want to end this debate tonight. Sudhanshu Mittal, Preeti Sharma Menon, Arun Bhatia, KP Singh and Madhu Kishwar for joining us on the center stage face-off this evening. Thank you very much. This battle must be left to the people, because there will be a Madhu Kishwar point of view, there will be a KP Singh point of view. Ultimately, it's the man who goes out and puts his finger on the electronic voting machine who must decide which of these two ideas appeals to him more. Let's move on to the other big story this evening. Thousands of men and women in the Indian Navy are wondering just why their chief was allowed to step down without a fight. There is deep resentment over why the burden of moral responsibility has been conveniently placed singularly on Admiral D.K. Joshi's shoulders when the buck, as far as the Indian Armed Forces are concerned, stops with Defence Minister A.K. Antony. Shouldn't he take a part of the blame and step down? Here's a full report on a man whose reputation as Defence Minister couldn't possibly